All right, I think in this class, we're all actually back today, but I know my afternoon class is probably going to be missing someone. So guys, yesterday we worked on 485 on this paper, right? We should have area and perimeter written down. Can anyone, especially because we're catching up Jimmy and Clayton who weren't here, can anyone tell us what was weird about A versus, like, A to B? What was kind of weird or interesting, like A to B? Liam?
The area perimeter was the same.
Ooh, the shapes? Now, what do you mean by the shapes aren't the same? I need you to, like, say a bit more. So, I use an x squared. I use two x's. And so wait, we use the same tiles. Ooh, we arranged them differently. So this is the weird thing. We used the same shapes, x squared, x, and 1s, but in a different arrangement, but got the same thing. Kind of cool. I mean, at least it's interesting, because I would expect it to change. Right? I mean, I don't know what you guys would have expected, but I would have expected it to change. And then I think we got farther on this one than the afternoon class, but I forgot to copy what we did, so we'll get there. But what we want to do with this here is if we're now told x is 6, right? We talked about x changes size depending on what's happening. We quote unquote don't know what x is until we're told what x is. So if you want to visualize this, right, imagine if x dropped down to just 1. Well, if x is 1, then it would be the same size as your 1 tile, right? But as x gets bigger and x squared gets bigger, so now we're going to imagine what if x is 6? Any confusion on what we're going to say now? What if this edge, the long edge of x and both edges of x squared, we're going to make all of those 6. Do we mess with the 1s? No, we do not mess with the 1s. So if we want, we could go through and label all this, right, like we did yesterday. So, how long would this be now? 6. Yeah, we just said that. Same on the bottom. How long would this be? Guys, remember, the one edge of the x tile never changes. So I could label all the way around. I could count all the way around. Or, what seems faster? What seems a little smarter? What seems a little bit more efficient? We know the area, right? Because we don't know it as in it's 25, but the area, x squared plus 2x plus 2, right? We know it. We figured it out yesterday. So what if now I say, okay, area, instead of x squared, what do I write now? 6 squared, because x we're replacing with 6. Guys, on your graph paper, please go ahead and write this down because this is also dangerous. Plus, we gotta pull our arms out, at least one of them. Probably 2 though, we're gonna need to hold our paper. Plus, instead of 2x, what are we gonna write? 2, not just 2 6, because that would look like 26. Yeah, 2 times 6, or somebody already shouted out 12, plus 2 stays plus 2. Careful. 6 squared. Anyone talk me through what 6 squared is actually having us do? We've already both talked. Anybody other than Lakin and Liam? And I won't call him Liam. All right, back to Liam then, because Lakin just did the last one.
You just times 6 by itself, so 6 times 6, that's 6 squared.
Yeah, guys, 6 squared is saying if this is 6 and if this is 6, how big is this? What's 6 times 6? 36. So we get 36 here. What's 2 times 6? 12. Okay, let's keep going slowly. What's 36 plus 12? 48. Plus 2 more? 50. Do the perimeter on your own. Replace that x with 6. Right. Do the perimeter on your own. If we now know that x is 6, what does our perimeter turn into? What did we say we're going to change to replace or substitute? What did we say x is now? So this tells us we're on part A, we're making x 6 for everything. Now be careful, this looks like 46. Did you need to write 46? Or did you need to write 1 times 6? Yeah, so then you can do that multiplication. Hey, there are calculators in your bins if you need, by the way. There's highlighters back in all the bins, calculators. I tried to make it so you got what you need. Alright, so I'm going to bump over here, because we said these are the same, right? They came out the same area and perimeter. So for perimeter, and now I'm going to cards. You had the chance to watch one done. Now you got to participate. Josh, what am I going to do? Instead of writing 4x plus 8?
4 times x. I mean 4 times 6.
4 times 6
Plus 8.
plus 8. And then I guess we can do class answers on this because we probably maybe used calculators. 6 times 4?
24.
24. Plus 8?
32.
Questions. Alright, I need your help because I didn't save my file from yesterday. For this one, the last one that we did, what was our area and perimeter? Like, so what was the area here? Can someone help me? I mean, just shout it out.
2x plus
Okay, and what was the perimeter? Oh, so it was the same. Ah, it was the same. Okay, was the area the same? Not even close, right? There's no x squared here. All right, so we got to recalculate the area. Go ahead and do it. What are we replacing x with?
6.
Yeah, so just do that again. Do it on your paper. Look up here when you want to check your answer. This is a participation sort of thing. Guys, the only way to know if you know how to do it is to try it. So when we substitute, that's the fancy math word. Also, who I will have here on Tuesday, a week from yesterday, I will have a substitute because I have to go get my heart checked again. So just FYI, they did surgery back in 2020. They just are keeping tabs on it. If you want the technical what was wrong with it, I had supraventricular tachycardia with an aorta on my, or with an aneurysm on my ascending aorta. There's the medical answer. Well, when I have to tell every doctor I meet ever what was wrong with me, no, because there's too many medical terms. Okay, 2 times 6. 12 plus 3. 15. Now, labels are going to start to matter a lot, and if you want to make the note on your paper, this would be units squared, because we're talking about area. That doesn't mean it is a square. It means inside of it could be little bitty squares. We could look inside of it and see little bitty squares broken up. Questions on our substitution here? Because you're about to do it all over again. Except now, what if they tell us that x is a half? Wait, hold on. X is a half? we just looked at what if x is 1, right? And these became the same size, right? Like my x tile, my x square. But now they say make x a half. I can't even do that in the app. Like it won't even let me because I think it's upset about me wanting to make x smaller than 1. So let's just try to do it. Just do the math. So again, we're going to replace every x with a 1/2. Start chatting with each other. This should be going on graph paper. It's okay if we get it wrong right now. That's the whole point. Now we're going to replace x's with 1/2. Replace x with 1/2. We're replacing x with 1/2. It shrunk way down. We're going to start writing the same thing again, except we're replacing x with 1/2. Now, this is what I want to do. So, x squared is going to be what with x? X plus x, x times x, x divided by x. So are you doing perimeter or area? So 4 up against x, there's no division symbol. Take another guess. There's a number right up against another, like leg or something. So it would just tell you what's happening. Because when one's above the other one, then that's division. This is multiplication. So here's the easy way to fix this. Just hover over the division symbol. So I would split this up, right? Because we're doing a different problem. So let's split things apart from each other. So we do 4 times 1/2, but then there's still something else to write. Yeah, so go ahead and write that down and let's do that math. Like what is half of 4? And then we'll add 8. Hey, I like that I heard some of you saying let's do perimeter first. Because it does feel easier. Because that x squared, I've warned you guys, like that's a little dangerous. So let's look at perimeter first. What are we doing? Right, ooh, I should get help. So what am I going to write, Clayton? 4. But we now know what x is. What's x here? So I'm going to write 4 times, because this, if you need to make the note to remember, this is multiplication, right? When you have a number right up against, it's multiplying. So 4 times 1/2. I like fractions. You can do decimals if you want. Up to you. All right, so what's half of 4? 2 plus 8? Boom. Questions on how we did perimeter? I still see pencils moving, people talking. We good? We got questions? So let's do area now. And here, I'll take a volunteer for this. I don't know if anyone, Josh's hand went up quick. Josh, help me out.
Okay, so what I did was...
Jackson, make sure to listen. If he needs help, we're coming to you.
Okay. So what I did, I put in the, I swapped out x for, the stuff. So 1/2 squared.
Okay.
And then I put plus 2 times 1/2.
Okay.
Then put plus 2.
Okay. Now here's the dangerous part. How do I do 1/2 squared? Guys, everybody needs to be listening.
Multiply it by itself.
So 1/2 times 1/2. Yeah, guys, what is half of a half? Here, when we square this, gentlemen, can you sit next to each other or not? When we square this, it actually gets smaller. Because it's small to begin with. Multiplying it by itself makes it now 1/4. Okay, what's 2 times 1/2? It'd be 2 halves, actually. Not 2/4, it'd be 2 halves. But then plus 2 more, well, the 2 stays the same. So what do we end up getting for area here?
3 and 1/4.
3 and 1/4. 4.
Or 0.25.
Or fine if you want to use decimals. Questions.
Got it.
Questions. Because this is going to be on our homework. Like almost the same thing. '87 here at the bottom of your paper. We attacked a couple problems like this before break, but I want you to try to turn to a neighbor and talk about so those right edges, the right edges of these shapes are a little tricky. Make sure you're writing in pencil in case we need to erase things. Talk to each other about how we can figure out the perimeter. Forget about area. We're just going to focus on perimeter right now. Perimeter of these shapes. Go ahead. Okay, what did I just say? What did I just say up there? 4. And is that up on the board what's saving you? Because you're over here doodling instead of actually being engaged in what we're doing? And if you're afraid of those right sides, just do everything else. Label everything else if you're afraid of them. Do you know how long that top edge is? You don't know how long the edge of the X file is. That top part that we said never changes. Didn't Mrs. Fisher make you a...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1. Yeah, so I label that. That's fine.
I don't know where it is.
I mean, he might not know either. It seems like a choice. Oh, wait, where is that one going? The back edge or the top edge? It's going to the top, so make sure we put our labels in the right spots. And then what about the left? That longer edge of the X. You come over to the left side. Yeah, so go ahead and start leaving what you do know. Guys, my favorite professor ever, Dr. Smith. Shout out Dr. Smith. Used to say, if you don't know what you're doing, do anything. Do something. So even if I tell you that the right sides are tricky and the right, they're more difficult, that leaves open everything else is less difficult. If you're not certain about how to do the right sides, at least do what you do know. So Elias, how long is this top edge? It's 1. We know that. That's not changing. It's not impacted by that difficult part. It's just 1. Reese, how long is this left edge? X. Owen, help me out with the bottom here.
2.
Yeah, because there's 1 here and 1 there. We can call the bottom together 2. Any questions so far?
No.
So now, Jimmy, can you help me as we come around the corner? How long is this? And then let's keep going. How long is this? There we go. Elijah. Now I'm going to color code this because we're saying it's dangerous, it's risky. Now I hit that section. It looks like it's 1. Looks like. And here's the problem. You can't trust what things just look like. Right? I could put on a firefighter's outfit, like Mr. Allen did at Halloween. I don't know if you guys remember way back at Halloween, he had the helmet and everything. He looked like a firefighter. Is he? No. So you gotta be careful. You can't just trust what things look like. Even though that looks like 1, we don't know. Anyone able to help me with how we can deal with this? Liam? And guys, I hope you're listening, because if Liam's the only one raising his hand, everyone else needs to be listening to Liam. Or Layton, because you're raising your hand now too. But Liam, go ahead and start talking.
So on the right side, what do you just do x minus 2 for both of the flat sides?
Say more. Explain it more.
It's because you have 2 1s on which you take away 2.
So Liam is saying together, and actually I do want to change to just writing this in white, because we're about to start using. What Liam was saying is this, everybody, how long would that dark green be? That would be x. And then Liam is reminding us, like we did before break, we take away this, which we know is 1, and we take away this, which we know is 1. So that's x. Now be careful though, did we count these yet? Chat with each other and see if you can figure out the total perimeter. We're not done. I've not written everything down. Chat with each other so you can figure out in total. Like how many x's, how many ones, like in total. So I was holding my breath. Yeah. Yeah, I was holding my breath. All right, Jackson. What did you and Lakin, what do you guys think the perimeter altogether is here? Well, okay, so hold on. If you have -2 plus 8, can I put a -2 with the positive 8? So, I'm curious, did anyone get something different? I don't know if that's right yet or not. We need to check it, but did anyone get something different than 2x plus 6? Let's check that. Come with me. Come on this little walk with me. We're going around the shape. I'm going to start here and go this way. I pick up an x. I'm only going to get x's on my first lap around. So I'm walking. This x, is it positive or negative? It's positive. The -2 is trying to take 2 away, but that x, this, notice that in front of it, there's no negative. It's positive. So I have 1 x over there, another x over here. We get 2x. Now let's pick up the constants. So starting here, walking, I get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I almost forgot to pick up that one. So then 8, but then -2. What's 8 minus 2? 6. Nice work. You guys ready for this one, or you need more time?
Got it. Already done.
Let's do 1 more minute. If you need to wrap this up, go 1 more minute. If you're done and waiting, feel free to work on a homework problem. If you're done and waiting, feel free to work on a homework problem. 1 more minute. Try to figure out how long is it all the way around. All the way around. So we want to label these pieces, all the different parts around, quit avoiding the challenge. We're going to label all these different parts. You guys weren't ready to go over this problem? Start labeling things that we know, even if we avoid the part that's tough. Like, do you know what the top of the x squared will be? Yeah, you do. It's over here. X, so label it. This is a different problem. We can forget what we did earlier. How long are the edges of an x squared? So the vertical arcs for that edge right here. How long are the short edges of our x tiles? Forget it. How long are the short edges of the x tiles? Carefully, because over here is tricky. So later with stuff we know the top. This part's the tricky part. That's how long this is going to be. Caroline! Let's start. I don't know. You tell me where you want to start. Caroline says let's start at the top. Makes sense to me. I'm going to move this down so we have a bit more space. Alright, so starting at the top, how long then, Caroline, is... Well, do you want to do the whole top? Or what? Like, you tell me. What did you write on your paper? Sure. So what is it? So Caroline's saying across the top I have x plus one more. Questions on how Caroline got x plus 1 for the top? Yeah. There's a length of x, because the edge of x squared, and there's a length of 1. So I'm going to avoid the difficult part for a minute. If we come down this way, Lakin, you want to give me the whole left side? No, but like perimeter. We're just doing perimeter right now. Of the left side. X from right here, and then 2 from right down here. So we get x plus 2 for the left side. Questions? Major. As we come around and come across the bottom, how long will the bottom be here? Just x, right? Because it's just the length of the x tile. And we know if we wanted to write these in, each of these were 1s. That was x here, x there, x there, x there. These are 1s. But on the outside is where I'm doing my actual perimeter work. All right, so I turn the corner. Liam, turn the corner. What's this right here? 2. Josh, you want to tell me what you did with this little dude?
Oh yeah, so I just put it as 3.
Yeah, because boom, boom, boom is really 3. Questions on how Josh said, well, really, that's 3. So then wait, up here, can I do the same?
Yeah.
Can I also do 3 here?
No.
Yeah, right, because boom, boom, boom. Except, if I do 3 there, I need to get rid of this 1. Guys, be careful. Hold up. Look up here. Like, pause your pencils. Because I'm showing you how this can be a trap door. If I call the top x plus 1, I already used this, which means I don't have 3 for the rest of over here. The rest of over here would just be this and this, which would be 2. So up to you if you put the 1 there and then put 2 here, or make it 3, but be careful that you don't count something twice. That's why I would shade, I would draw, I would use a highlighter, do something to help yourself out. The only section I haven't labeled yet, man, this right here. Clayton, thoughts on that section, the purple part? We could what? Well, you can't just call it, I mean, we called this x because we know it's x. This involves x, but we said the ends, like this would be x, right? Across the x squared is x. So how long is the purple section left with? Bro, we can't trust what it looks like. We got to work from the x. You got my attention because you kind of lifted your hand. Do you have a guess to this purple section? It looks like 3. That's what, but guys, we can't trust what things look like. Is Mr. Allen a firefighter? No. I mean, he probably would, but he's not trained, right? Elias, thoughts on what this purple? Do we think it'll be more than X or less than X? Less, right? Because if X would have been the blue line, Elias, you want to take a guess at it? Guys, look up here. I need everybody's eyes up here. Blue would have been X. If I move this over, it's kind of easy to see. It's the edge, right? It's the edge of your X squared tile. But the purple section gets rid of, how much am I getting rid of right there? How much did I just erase? 1. How much did I just erase up here?
1.
So this purple section is X what? -2. That -2 is really important because it's not all of the X. It's X -2. So let's take our walk and get our X's first. How many X's? And remember, this is positive. That X, that's positive. How many X's around the outside? 4. So 4X. Now my advice is grab your constants or grab your positives first, but I want you to try to figure out how many constants. Take like 30 seconds, check with your partner once you think you have your answer. Because at a minimum, you two need to try to agree. All right, I think I have my answer. Reese, what do you think the constants combine to? Hey, look up here if you want some verification. 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, right? Because by -2, these cancel each other out. This positive and this negative, we talked about this back in the fall a lot. Good guys and bad guys cancel each other out. So really, those wipe each other out. And I can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's where Reese got +8. Questions?
No.
You have the last 3 minutes to get whatever you can done on this paper. So I can flip the page and try to find a problem that looks like what we just did. Do it while it's fresh.
Let's get this down.
Do it while it's fresh. Did you catch where your mistake came from, though? It's all good if you got it wrong, as long as we caught where our mistake was. That X -2 makes sense now? Yes or no? Shrub does not have. Yeah, because we had a length of X, but then we got rid of and got rid of. So if you look right here, since we're being asked to find area and perimeter here, how long? I'll walk away. You don't need my help. Hey, you could look at number 98. 4-98. You could do that with your partner right now. That feels like a really good idea. Since it's essentially what we just did, I would flip to 98 and maybe talk that through with your partner. I would flip to 98 and talk this one through with your partner. Since it's very similar to what we just did. Wait, back up. We still got 2 minutes. Let's start coming back up. Yeah, we get 3 minutes. I would go look at 98.
Also a tree.
So this looks like it's going to be the side. If we relate that to what we've just been doing,
So the area is
that 98.
How long is
that? X is the whole length. Right, remember that X is the entire edge. So always label that X, because we know that top is X. So it would be X if I went all the way down to the bottom. But I didn't go all the way down to the bottom. How long is this? So, if this would have been x, but I took that away, I essentially erased that from the pink. Pink would be x minus. Yeah, not minus 2, it would just be minus 1. Alright, and now it's time to pack up and head on out. Have a great day. Yes. Yeah, any tabletop games, no screens, no video games.
I was wondering if I could come here and
Not 'cause what about
for my
like
D&D campaign.
That's up to you and your friends. I am not part of, whatever.